critically acclaimed.
We're just
Final
gonna
Fantasy
just
VII
talk about it. We
Rebirth,
didn't even
which
get let it
sits in
rock.
store for one of next year's most anticipated games.
We're just gonna just gonna rock into this.
The world's ending. At least, that's what everyone's saying. This
Oh,
sky-
okay. He's still carrying Cloud, and we're in
Ready
seven.
to fire, sir.
Forgotten the name of it.
Welcome to the New World Order.
Oh, hi, Rufus.
Fire!
Where?
Just
Huh?
close your
Why?
eyes and listen. Tell me you can't hear that. Her rallying cry.
He looks so cool.
Energy. It and everything on it dies.
We can overcome our fate.
Am I the same as these monsters? Am I even human?
Okay, we're looking for Sephiroth. Think you can
What
find
am I looking at?
Oh, Sephiroth. You see.
So you heeded the call too, did you?
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. He looks
As
bouncy.
you can
We get to
see,
drive cars.
Your brothers down there are having a little get together.
Okay.
They're our best chance of finding Sephiroth.
Yeah. I ask because I suspect there's soldiers suffering from cellular degradation.
Do not be deceived. You know the truth. Trust in me.
Sephiroth!
That. Is this the snake?
Come on.
So there's Tifa and Barrett. So that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Lasers. What? The Sephiroth? Why was he doing the hair thing? New summons? New version of Odin? Finally Golden Saucer? He's back again! Oh, a new guy. Chocobo Racing, let's go. I love the old style. Finally we got back to back.
Excuse me. Could you look after my friend? Just for a bit.
Oh, okay, so some of the characters are still returning.
A weapon?
Wait, is she inside Mako?
Said only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
Who dares disturb my slumber?
Ah, Vincent!
The reunion. When worlds merge. I'm waiting, Cloud.
Ah. Okay, February 29th. Twin pack pre-order start.
We hope you enjoyed that new look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's coming to PlayStation 5 on February 29th. And that's all for State of Play. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. I was not expecting. Ah, you. Stop using copyrighted music. They actually are showing new footage here. Where there's also a deluxe edition. Hi, Wildcard. I do need to check that out. So I've been hearing. I was in the game chat that we're in. For the thing, I remember them talking about that, but I don't know much about it. Woo! So that comes out October 20. Oh, wait, I thought it comes out this month. It comes out next month? Jeez, October is going to be chock-a-block. Thankfully, it's not locked to one store. That is true. Okay. We are getting somewhere with stuff. Okay. I guess we're going to have a quick look at the... hang on. There should be a PlayStation thing, right? PlayStation FF7 Rebirth. So I think you can only get the deluxe edition of the first one through game. I think it's this one, right? Where's the last, like, developer interview? 914. Developer interview reveals fresh gameplay details as the new trailer is of state of play. So now at least I have a better understanding of what the heck this means, because I've been seeing this everywhere on since Thursday last week, and I did not understand it because I didn't see crap all about it. Okay, we're gonna rewatch the trailer as well, but I'm gonna read everything first, find the thing stuff, and then rewatch the trailer, just because then it makes it easier for me to cut later. Today's state of play included a brand new look at the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The trailer surely will be a delight, both long-term for FF7 fans, as well as players eager to know what's happened after the conclusion of Final Fantasy VII Remake, as Cloud and company embark on a journey that takes them through the world outside of Midgar. In the trailer, we caught glimpses of new party members sprawling upon areas to explore and the reimagining of some of the iconic moments from the original game. Rather than leave you speculating, key staff from the game joined us to share not only more insight in the trailer, but also additional gameplay details about the game. The roundtable includes Final Fantasy VII Rebirth producer Yoshinori Kitase, creative director Tetsuya Nomura, and director Naoki Hamaguchi, and music supervisor Keiji Kawamori. Can you explain what we're seeing on the combat system here? Has it been remained untouched since 7 Remake, or have you already altered anything? Anyways, the new synergy moves most from the battle system. The new mechanic allows the player to use synergy commands and abilities freely at any time by using up a gauge charge in similar manner to limit breaks. So through the battle, players will feel the relationship and bonds that have been developed between the characters, even more so than the previous game. We've also added skill trees as new elements of a character growth. You can unlock synergy abilities through the skill trees too. Many new material with new abilities not seen in the first game are available as well, so players will have more options to customize and build the character loadouts to their own tastes. I always like playing as Cloud. That's basically it. But hopefully I get to play as the other characters. Well, I like playing as Cloud, but I think Tifa was my second now that I say that, and I did like being able to switch around between the characters, which is what I like the most. So we'll see how that works out. Viewers got a glimpse of Red 13. I actually didn't see that. I actually completely ignored that Red 13 even existed in that trailer. Players are now able to control him directly. What can we expect in terms of abilities that makes him distinct and great party member in the Final Fantasy Rebirth's battles? Development team challenged themselves to give Red 13 a new playstyle that felt different from the other characters. Red 13 doesn't just have an ATB gauge, but also uses his own unique revenge gauge. Revengeance! We get Revengeance 13 mechanic. His revenge gauge charges when he guards against enemy attacks, and he can spend that charge to use various abilities once the gauge is filled. We've designed Red 13 as a new type of character that requires the player to strike a balance between offensive strategy using the ATB gauge and a defensive strategy using the revenge gauge. We have seen Red 13 and Kate Sif shown as playable characters, and the footage released also shows another character who also looks like Vincent. So will he be playable as well? Will the party expand further too? The original party members are all present in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. In the previous title, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Red 13 became an accompanying member in the second half of the game, but he will become an official playable party member starting from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Similarly, there are characters who are accompanying members in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that will become official party members in the next title. So some characters will not become a party member now, and others will be later. That could include Vincent. So this was interesting because it looked like because it's Cloud in his soldier outfit. There are many other summons in the game, in addition to those that have already been revealed in our previous videos, some returning from Final Fantasy VII Remake. In fact, the lineup of summons have actually been fleshed out over and above the previous game, with new extended side content based on summons who did not feature in the original Final Fantasy VII, and even more besides. Sneaking into the original Junon, players partake in another unique minigame. We saw a parade and many other minigames in the newly revealed trailer. So will the same minigame from the original Final Fantasy VII still be playable? Yes. The same minigame will be playable, but we've greatly increased its scope compared to what was in the original Final Fantasy VII. In the original, Cloud sneaks into one of the units participating in the parade and joins in on the performance, but in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, he becomes the leader of that unit and can customize the composition of the soldiers participating in the unit. So you can actually change maybe what happens in the parade, just make them start breaking out into BTS stats moves. That's what we're going to do. The chosen unit composition will alter the performance, and it goes without saying that this affects also how the minigame is played. The parade to celebrate the inauguration of Rufus as the new president of Shinra is the climax of the first half of the original game. So the development team was really enthused about making all the details for it. It's one of the moments I hope players enjoy it the most. This was cool. Because it's basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but in the old style, and I really love the old style. I love when they do this. Speaking of minigames, we got a glimpse at Gold Sauce and its own minigame. How does the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth versions of these differ from the originals? I think that Hamaguchi says that I think there are a lot of fans who point to the number and variety of minigames as one of the draws of the original Final Fantasy VII. But for the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we have gone all out and created a huge number of minigames on the scale that surpasses even the original. Many of these minigames can be experienced in the main story, but we have also lots of unique games and challenges that appear as part of the side stories you can find as you explore the world map. I'm hoping they bring back the dance section. I want it to be as expansive as the Star Wars Just Dance game. There might well be players who get so caught up in all the fun games that they aren't making any progress in the main story. Oh no. Golden Saucer is another iconic locale that players will be eager to visit. How have you approached redesigning this amusement park? Players will first visit the Gold Saucer in the middle section of the game, but are then free to come back to it at any time. In order to create that motivation to make them want to come back, we designed the park to provide a changing and ever more wonderful experience with each visit. So new mini games are added, harder difficulty modes are unlocked. As the main story progresses, giving you even more to do here. It's not just the mini games either, and the parts of the Gold Swords seen in the main story have also been fully remade and upgraded too. So you can expect great things from it. Shows moments of the party exploring lush exterior open areas. How do these larger areas work within the context of the gameplay and story? Once the team leaves Midgar, Cloud and the team major focus objective in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is to follow and track down Sephiroth across the expansive world they find themselves in. We've put a lot of emphasis on exploration-focused game design with this title, as we wanted to create that feeling of going on an adventure while traveling around the world in pursuit of evidence of Sephiroth's movement. So I'm guessing we just don't know where Sephiroth is half the time, and maybe when we're walking around, Sephiroth will just turn up to be like, "Hey, you remember me?" You know. Now you're several years into remaking iconic locations from 7, and Final Fantasy VII Remake being so successful. Do you feel less pressure to match fan expectations when reimagining beloved areas and moments? As 7 Rebirth will take place to various locations and across the whole world, we need to recreate the massive 7 world map that would also incorporate places such as towns, dungeons within itself. To do this, we dug deeply into the feeling of each different region and reflected that in the graphics, creating areas that look and feel quite diverse. On top of that, we designed chocobos unique to each region that have their own abilities. Example, mountain chocobos that can climb sheer cliffs, and sky chocobos that can actually fly. So players will need to utilize chocobos to fully explore each area. I hope players have a lot of fun with this aspect of exploration. Why would you have the flying chocobos but not why would you have the sheer cliff climbing ones and not just use the flying ones all the time? 7 Remake offered new interpretations of classic locations and moments, as well as entirely new ones that enrich the game. Is there a similar balance for the 7 Rebirth? Kitase says, as with the previous game, we have strived for a right balance between old and new scenes in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but we also tried to take more new challenges that we did in 7 Remake with some of the new scenes. I'm confident these new scenes will be widely enjoyable for fans and newcomers alike. What is the function of the world map in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? World map is vast and expansive, so not all the locations on it will be used in the main story alone. In fact, volume-wise, the amount of side content in 7 Rebirth is nearly double that of the main quest contents. Players who want to enjoy 7 setting on an even deeper level can explore all the corners of the world, discovering many different and exciting experiences such as new stories, battles, and minigames to play. It will also be possible to return to any of the regions in the world even after main quest movements. So you don't have to worry about leaving things behind or unfinished. Given this a direct continuation to 7 Remake, can players pour over hang on. What is it called? Who played the previous games, allowing them to start with a little something extra. What can you tell us about the soundtrack and music Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Oh, we got 2 sevens now. Kawamori. Hang on. We've also expanded the variety of musical genres in this time around, so I think there will be plenty to enjoy. Of course, we also have many rearrangements of classic tracks from the original Final Fantasy VII too, so I hope fans will enjoy comparing both iterations of the same song to see what has changed. For example, the music in the newly released trailer is a rearrangement of the Final Fantasy VII main theme as battle music track and gives you the taste of the direction the team has decided to take in from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What was the concept behind the new trailer? This is a cool image. I'm not gonna lie. This is a really cool image. I'm assuming this is meant to be like a scene where this is meant to be Zack and Sephiroth, because that's the only thing where these two would be around the same time. So you know. What was the concept behind the new trailer? Every trailer has a specific purpose. Since this is the second installment, Final Fantasy VII Remake project, in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. Sorry, it's just weird. There are people who have played the previous game or enthusiastic fans who follow the built-in mysteries. But for newcomers or those who are simply interested in the Final Fantasy VII series, we want to include a full overview of what of the experiences they will have with this remake project. So there is less of a mysterious pretense to the story this time, but you can look forward to the next trailer. There was a scene with Cloud and Sephiroth fighting together, but will the player get to control Sephiroth in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? If you played the original Final Fantasy VII, I'm sure you can guess which scene I'm talking about. You'll be able to control Sephiroth in the same scene in the title as you did in the original. So we finally get to play Sephiroth. Cool. The Gold Saucer appears in the newly released trailer, but will players be able to enjoy the much anticipated date scene on the Ferris wheel too? Naturally, this is one of the major highlights of Gold Saucer, so it is included in the game. Please look forward to how it appear in the Final Fantasy Rebirth with high resolution visuals. So it's basically the same as the thing scene, the scene from might be only his party member. And that's true. That's true. We have mentioned this a few times before, but but the order in which you can explore the locations is not the same as the original in Final Fantasy VII. There are some shifts in the order. For example, Wutai and one of the major locations is not part of the route in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and will be visited in the next one. Although there are some changes in the order of the locations. Locations depicted in the tile extends up to the Forgotten Capital, where the greatest fate of Final Fantasy VII. I'm assuming that the Forgotten Castle, where the greatest fate of Final Fantasy VII awaits you, is what I think it is. the mystery, the main story that has been what's going to happen. I'm assuming, I'm taking the wild assumption that we are not. Oh no. This is gonna be the last section of the game, isn't it? This is where it happens. I'm assuming this is where it happens. Yes. Who? So I'm assuming that includes up to and including the Forgotten Capital. I'm guessing that's where it ends. It has to end there. You can't really deal with the aftermath of it unless they extend it as far as the recovery. But oh God! But given how 7 Remake ends, could be very different. They'll probably present it differently, but I don't see it. I think it's gonna be really, really like it's gonna really pull at the heartstring, and they're gonna really draw it out because I feel like that's what they should do. Like with something as important as this particular plot moment, because I feel like you can't talk about it again, despite the fact that the original game exists, and this is technically the what? So you had the prequel 7, Dirge of Cerberus. No, then there's Ever Crisis. So the prequel, Ever Crisis, Dirge of Cerberus. Technically speaking, this is the 5th game in the series. 4th game in the series. 5th game in the series. I think that sounds about right. So yeah. Okay. Right.